What happened? What's up, everyone? It is the Midnight Chronicler. I missed you guys so much. Hopefully you missed these review videos. Tonight, we're taking a look at Wanted, the Haunted Mask. No, this is not a reboot or a rebranding or a recovering of the original book like what I thought it was at first. I thought this was, oh, did they just like recover this, like bring out a new edition of the original Haunted Mask, or what's going on with this? No, this is actually a brand new Haunted Mask story. News to me, right guys? Probably news to you as well. And I heard a lot of mixed things about this book. Some people said, oh, it's really good. And I got some other opinions from other friends of mine that said, it's okay. So it was really a mixed bag as far as what I had heard from people. So I went into the book with an open mind, and I'll be honest, I ended up, well, I guess let's talk about it. And like I mentioned, guys, this book is a pseudo sequel / prequel to the original 1993 Goosebumps book, The Haunted Mask. This is a great book with a heartfelt message. It's a classic in the Goosebumps series, and the cover, I mean, come on. I've said it so many times, the cover is super iconic. The TV show episode of this is also a classic. So good, it's arguably one of the best tales in the Goosebumps series. So, when I found out that 19 years later, RL Stine came out with another iteration of the Haunted Mask lore, I'll be honest, I was super confused by the book at first. So yeah, guys, color me shocked. Not only is this a brand new story that follows a brand new person that gets haunted by the mask, but it also touches upon the origins of the Haunted Mask, which is something that I don't think we've ever seen before, which is really, really cool in this book. So part one, the story is basically done in 3 parts. The Haunted Mask, Part 2, Luann's story, Part 3, Devin's story, and the epilogue. And I will say, guys, Parts 1 and Part 2 are fantastic Goosebumps. It is legitimately 9 out of 10 level Goosebumps. Part 3... we're going to talk about Part 3 a little bit. And with Part 1 of 3, called The Haunted Mask, this is a really cool and really disturbing and sad origin tale that I didn't expect to get. It was such a breath of fresh air for a Goosebumps opening, and made for a darn good opening 30 pages. Literally, this book has a scene where a man pulls the mask off, but it takes his face with it, and he basically crawls into his closet and dies because his face is bleeding all over the place. And his dog, his faithful companion, is kind of there waiting for him outside the door, and he slowly just perishes. Really tragic and pretty hardcore opening to a Goosebump book, and probably my favorite opening to a Goosebump book ever. Part 2 of this book is where we really start cooking. We follow Luann, a girl who, unlike the Haunted Mask Carly Beth, is very well liked and has a lot of friends. She's sort of the anti-hero to Carly Beth's typical hero. And R.L. Stine does some really cool things with this character. Luann's antics with the Haunted Mask made Carly Beth look pale in comparison. She gains this like inhuman strength. She beats people up. She trashes a house, rips the tires off a random dude's car. Really, really cool. And good use of the Haunted Mask powers. It gave it a new level. And that's what you want in a sequel, / whatever you would call this prequel book. To this point in the story, guys, R.L. Stine was killing it, legitimately making a good and different sequel that stood head and shoulders with the original. Luann's version of the monster was terrifying, and so I wanted her to have kind of a tragic ending. I really, really wanted R.L. Stine to make Luann's character the antithesis to Carly Beth's character. Carly Beth obviously had the good ending, the heartfelt, the symbol of love frees her. I thought Luann's done so much terrible that it would be cool if he just made her go down as a bad guy. Maybe not killed her, but just given her an ending that was sad, or maybe she just stays possessed by the Haunted Mask and goes out and we never hear from her again, or something like that. That would have been a really cool alternate world to what happened to Carly Beth, but we didn't get that. Then part 3 of the book happened. So there I was, flipping through this book, the first 120 pages going by like greased lightning. I was reading Luann's story. Luann is rampaging through the streets. She's truly given up to the haunted mass influence. The people around her are getting hurt. These 100 pages were flying by, and RL Stine took all the momentum from Luann's story and decided to throw it out the window. And not since Invasion of the Body Squeezers have I ever been more bummed reading a Goosebump book. Never has a Goosebump book taken such a nosedive for me. I was almost insulted that R.L. Stine had done so much to set up a haunted mass story that was working so well and bait and switched it to a story about a dumb kid on a farm with annoying little sisters and every other Goosebump trope that there is, every other negative Goosebump trope that there is. I can't even bring myself to go on too much more about this book. Wanted the Haunted Mass first 120 pages is straight up awesome, followed by 110 pages of boring, useless, just momentum killing filler that ends in complete disappointment. And for the heck of it, guys, let's do a little bit of math. We have 3 parts of the story. Let's give 3 separate grades and average them out. So part 1, I gave an 8 out of 10. Part 2, I gave a 9. And part 3, I gave a 5 out of 10. Averaging it out to a very disappointing, and I didn't want to have to do this, 7 out of 10 for Wanted the Haunted Mask. Which is such a shame in retrospective, guys, because R.L. Stine did so well with the beginning of this book. He captured lightning in a bottle. He brought the excitement back. He brought back the insane and the harshness of the Haunted Mask and the terror of the Haunted Mask back in an effective way to a character that's different than Carly Beth, who could have actually had a different ending than Carly Beth. But no, we end up with the same, basic ending. So, in the end, Wanted the Haunted Mask does a lot of cool things. The beginning, like I said, the first half is spectacle. It is R.L. Stine capturing lightning in a bottle again with this story and doing it in a new and exciting way. And a lot of the scenes are pretty gory. It's a more hardcore Series 2000 feeling book, which is my favorite Goosebumps series. And there's a lot good that was done here. And it's almost like he thought, oh, this is going too well. I have to really just crank the brakes on this story and bring it to a screeching halt and start following a character that nobody cared about. Literally, the character that we spend the last 110 pages with, you don't care about at all. You don't even really think about. But yet, R.L. Stine decides to do this bait and switch and make us spend 100 pages with him. Instead of with Luann, who was having the way cooler, way more hardcore, way more badass storyline happening. It just didn't make any sense, and it just killed its own momentum. That's the phrase that comes to my mind whenever I think about this book. But that can't take away from the fact that it did start off so good. But guys, that is my thoughts on Wanted the Haunted Mask. I wanted a lot more out of the story than what I got, but that's life, I guess. Anyways, guys, please like and subscribe if you've gotten this far. Appreciate everyone watching. Thanks for hanging out with the channel. So much more to come before the end of the year. Top 10 books, maybe another top 10 of the year, maybe another top 10 Goosebump books now that I've read so many more. But anyways, guys, can't wait to talk with you more. Keep on reading. See you later. Well, see ya.